Looks like we've got it's a roll call to order. Looks like we've got everybody here. If you're not here, you can raise your hand. Okay. All right. Has anybody looked at the August minutes?
Yes, and I think Wes had mentioned the name in the change to the name. So with that, I will make a recommendation for approval.
Sheila's made a motion. We're looking for a second. Got a second. So, all right. The minutes have been accepted. Looks like we've got some reports on funding events.
Probably ought to have a vote,
Oh, really? I'm
All
sorry.
in favor?
just in case.
All in favor of accepting, say aye.
Aye.
Any negative people can say negative. Okay.
That wasn't
I know
negative.
that. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
How are you all today?
Fine. Good morning.
How are you?
My name is
Afternoon.
Shelby Fiegel. I'm with the University of Central Arkansas Community Development Institute.
Thank
Will
you.
you all please? This will pretty
Thank
much
you.
tell you everything you need to know
Okay.
about our event, but we'll walk through it together real quick.
Thank you.
Okay, so the Community Development Institute, we host that at UCA every year. We've been doing that for 38 years now. We really appreciate the support of the city through the AMP Commission to bring in about 200 community leaders from not just Arkansas, but regionally and nationally that come in to learn how they can make their communities better places. We also have a variety of speakers that come in, again, from all over the state, some from out of state, who come and visit Conway as well. So we're always really excited. This data actually helps us a lot too, so we can know the positive economic impact that we're making on our city since we're in the community economic development realm. So just walking through that survey, I believe that we had, out of the 201 participants, I believe we got back a little over 150 surveys total. So we include that in our evaluation packet. We threaten them and make sure that, in a nice way, they can't get their certificate of completion until they turn in their evaluation packet. So we really try to be intentional in gathering that data. So we had folks from 9 different states come to visit Conway at UCA this year: Alabama, Arkansas, Delaware, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, and Texas. Yeah, and it's 168. I couldn't remember that number, but that's in the top if y'all look there. So that's how many surveys we collected. So the majority of folks that come in either stay 4 or 5 nights in Conway at a variety of hotels. A lot of folks actually did Airbnb this year. We saw quite a bit of an increase. We actually had a couple of groups who have come so close together over their 3-year experience at CDI that they rented Airbnbs together. And so kind of made their own little pockets within the community. So 70% of those folks that came to CDI stayed in Conway at a hotel. Some drove in if they were in driving distance. If you turn over on the back side of that sheet, you'll see lodging breakdown as far as what hotels, Airbnb, who stayed where. Most of our folks stayed at Home 2 Suites or Courtyard by Marriott. Those were our conference hotels this year. But we did have some that chose to stay. We give them the option to stay wherever they like. But those are the 2 hotels that we had contracts with to get a special rate. Activities outside of CDI. So a little over 30% of folks engaged in additional activities. We had people go downtown Conway, Conway Commons, trivia. They love going to JJ's and Bear's Den, doing the trivia and the karaoke. We actually had a couple of folks go out to Valonia to do go-kart riding this year, which I thought was interesting. And they love visiting our walking trails and our parks. That was something that a lot of folks shared that they did. Especially waking up early, getting some exercise in. but they love the state of our parks. Restaurants, favorite restaurants that people went to: Mike's Place, Skinny J's, Dobie's, Holly's, and Brick and Forge. And I've also given Rachel the raw data in an Excel sheet that we exported, if any of you are interested in looking at that as well. And 98.7% of people said they would return to Conway on that survey. So that's pretty good when you got some folks from Delaware and Tennessee and all over the state, out of state coming in. Does anybody have any questions? I hope that was thorough.
First
Very
of all, let me say,
thorough.
well done.
Thank you.
And probably one of the best sheets put together
Mhm.
that I've seen since
We
I've been
really
here.
appreciate that. We made sure we used the green too to match with the chamber's
Oh, yeah.
branding. So yeah,
But you did a really good job of letting who, what, when, and where. Where'd
absolutely.
they go, who came in, so.
And it's very concise.
Yes,
So,
yes, I
Mhm.
mean.
Yeah, I don't want to talk your ears off. I try to be cognizant of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Okay.
Well
Well,
done.
thank you guys so much. Again, we really appreciate you. What you do makes a huge impact on our event, and we just want to say thank you over and over again. Yeah,
gonna
I mean,
say-
I'm working on the
Okay.
application right now. It's
right.
literally pulled up on my computer
Great.
back at the office. Well, thank you guys again. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it? Okay. Now we're into a review of financial information.
okay. First, you'll see the balance sheet. Everything is very consistently beautiful. What you see is $3,706,000 in the bank. No loans. Net income for the year of $487,479.50. So if you go to page 2, you'll see this in a little more detail. For the month of August, we received $562,000, and actually with the contracts that were funded and all the money spent, $499,000. So gross profit of 62, almost 63,000. Then the overhead expenses totaled almost 18,000 for a net income of 45,276. If you want to look at page 3 of that, you can see that if you look at the very top on total revenues this year to date, we are up over $200,000 over last year's year to date. So that's a good thing to look at and take note of. We are not outlaying as much as we were last year, but I think there's more to come for that for this year. So we'll see how that shakes out. The next document that you have stapled together is the general ledger, which gives you the details for everything that you see on the financial statements. I've also given you the reconciliation of the bank accounts and a listing of the checks. So that's everything there. If you want to look at I'm supposed to be sharing with you, aren't I? Now we'll go here to the legal size pages. Well, doesn't that usually come in when
Later. Yeah.
Yeah, when Kim does her thing.
Yeah.
The page 1 has the collections and how it breaks down between what goes to the city and what goes to the A&P Commission. If you look at page 2, you will see that overall let's see. This is just giving another breakdown of what goes to the city of Conway and what goes to the A&P, and this is looking at it next to all the other months. So page 3, you'll see year-to-date collections as compared to collections for the previous year. So if you look at the top line, $549,000 collected as compared to $528,000 collected last year at this time. And so that's a 4% increase over last year. If you look at further down, it kind of gets kind of muddy because it's only comparing 23 to 22 and shows that there was a little bit of a decrease. But if you look at the top line, the 549 compared to the bottom total collections, we are ahead.
Yeah.
So,
And there was also, it was a 5-week in month. Skewed sales usually to the positive. All right.
all righty. Year-to-date collections for past due. Now this is odd right here because we only collected $3,194 of past due, but last month's delinquent list was the shortest one I've ever seen. So that's why you see that looking so awkward here because there really wasn't that much late to
Right.
collect. If we look at the collections excluding delinquent on the next page, we're ahead of last year. And then the last page is people that are paying through Pay Simple. So that increases regularly. Didn't increase over July, but we did increase over the year before significantly. So that's,
We're on the delinquent list.
so now we're at Kim. Yes.
I think we're gonna need to approve the financials.
Second.
And I think it's good to note what our CD is looking, the balance in that. So I think moving was a great move.
Yes, I agree. So we have a motion. Did we get a second?
Andy did.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Been accepted. I have one question. I see somebody on the list that we rarely see.
Well, and here's what I'm going to say about the delinquent list. So we're coming up to Kim's portion of the meeting, and normally we don't finish the delinquent list until Monday morning, but this month we didn't do any more after Friday. So I didn't realize this until I was printing this out and realized that there were payments that we received Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that we didn't take off of this list. So I'm going to have to get with Kim because I do know that two of the ones that I'm seeing on here, Stobies and Roadhog, their payments did come in.
Okay.
So I'm not going to have Kim spending any time on anybody whose money did come in. So Kim, I will get back with you.
Those are the questions I would have asked.
Yes.
I saw both of those that are, that are
this,
unusual.
this needs to be updated, and I'll get this back to you this afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Andy, do you have some new glasses?
They're Jessica Simpson.
Very cool. Very
Bought them
cool.
at TJ Maxx on a card, 3 for $10, but they were like Harry Carey glasses.
Well, I thought Andy's got some new. Yeah.
I ain't scared.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Good. Yes, sir. We only had a couple that we didn't get settled out or responded. And one is going to be up for citation coming up this week, unless something has happened with them that I don't know about yet, and that's charcuterie and more. It's time for a citation for them. We've gone all the way through the process with them. Joyful Baking owes a penny, so I don't know how hard we want to go with that. But other than that, I'm just going to wait until I get back with Lisa and we get the ones marked off that we don't need to bother.
There's somebody at 2 cents.
I see 2 1 pennies.
Yeah.
See one penny and one 2 penny.
The one for Joyful Baking, she's out of Cersei, I think, and we just always email her, so it's not like it's wasting a bunch of postage or anything like that. But anyway, yeah.
A picture of that check she writes for a penny.
Okay, so unless y'all have any questions, unless y'all have any questions, I'll just wait and get with Lisa on catch up.
Doing
on
a
all
really
this.
good job.
All right,
It's
thank you
smaller
so
on
much.
every time, and the 2 odd ones were the ones someone already mentioned. I'm glad that talked about.
Thank
I know
you
they're
so
not
much.
usually on this list.
All right.
I'll
Okay.
go ahead and make a motion for the standard 30, 60, and 90 upon review of them after you've gotten that information from Lisa.
I have a second on that. Got a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Okay. Thank you, that's passed. Looks like we're at Rachel right now.
We are. How are y'all?
Good.
So since our last meeting, we did host the NICA event that we had talked about at the meeting, and it was a huge success. Arkansas Money and Politics interviewed me, interviewed Terry, wrote an article about the event. You know, the first time hosting an event like that in Central Arkansas, so some good promotion from that. This was actually Jamie's idea to email all of the registrants before the event and send them a list of restaurants that were willing to accommodate them in large groups, hotels that were willing to partner with them. And the parents were floored, frankly. They said that was the first time that any city had ever done that for them in all the places they'd been. So we'll try to do that again. I don't know, Wes could probably speak a lot more on that than I could, but
it was awesome. It went well. Like there was tons of people there. There was a couple other news outlets I think that were there that kind of gave a bunch of information. They're doing like a full blown, I think, video like on Conway specifically and how the trails were built by mostly volunteer work and how much the city's put into it and all that. So it's I think everybody's excited to come back at the end of September because we're gonna have an even bigger turnout then. More kids racing, more parents. Most of them are gonna be staying Friday and Saturday. So it will be another good one coming at the end of the month. So and I highly encourage you guys if y'all are around that Sunday, that last Sunday of September, just stop by and check it out. The mayor was super blown away. He said he came over. He's like, it looks like Woodstock. I think there's tents everywhere. And, but it's really a cool event. You know, we've got a bunch of food trucks and stuff out there. Ice strollers there. So yeah, it went off really, really well with the city and the AP money.
Thank you for having them there.
Mhm.
Thank you.
We're gonna try to keep bringing them back.
So Wes, that Sunday, that'd be September 29th, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What time?
We'll be there from kids start racing at about 8 and they don't stop till about 3. So it's gonna
all
be
day.
busy. Yeah.
Well, I saw people bringing pictures into the kids on the bike. How
Oh, yeah.
excited they were.
The
Yeah.
awards will happen usually around 3:30, between 3 and 3:30, and that's when everybody's
And I know if y'all saw any of the social media around it, all of the comments were so positive. People, you know, excited to come to Conway. So it was a huge success. Looking forward to another one. So I had a quarterly Heart of Arkansas board meeting. One of the ads that we had originally budgeted for is a biannual publication instead of an annual publication. So $8,500 that were allocated for that are now free to spend on something else, advertising. I have updated the funding request packet, and that is a version of it is currently live on the website. So if anybody wants it, they can fill it out there. But I've been working with Dave Creek to turn it into a fillable PDF. And I know, as y'all see every year, we get handwritten ones. Sometimes they are very hard to read. Sometimes people will try to type over them and the formatting gets kind of wonky. Anyway, I thought, oh, I'll just have them make it a fillable PDF, post it up there like normal. It'll be no big deal. It has not been that simple, unfortunately. And so we've gone back and forth a number of times. But I believe now it will live on the website as a fillable form. Once you fill it out digitally, you'll get a copy of it to your email, and then they will be instructed to print the email and still hand deliver the hard copies to my office, because that is important that we still have those. You're able to physically write on them. I know that is easier for me, and none of us want to be responsible for printing out who knows how many hundreds of pages of applications. So it's on there now in the old style, but hopefully today it is up there as the fillable online form. We have gotten rolling on the social media program we're running through Dave Creek. I have approved posts that run through the end of September, focusing on some of our events that they pulled from the events calendar, Art Walk, focusing on downtown coffee shops, so just some cool stuff. At Home in Arkansas reached out to us wanting events to put on their digital 2025 calendar. So ones that I already knew dates for, I submitted to them, but then I can go back and add more later as well. So that'll, have a statewide reach. Preparing to go to Teams Expo and Conference later this month. So working with State Tourism Department on that. As you know, in years past, I've attended this conference, sales showcase, I guess would be a better name for it. And there'll be representatives from Little Rock, North Little Rock, Rogers, Bentonville, me, the state, I don't remember who else, but several cities from around the state were all in one booth. We get sent a list of hundreds of events that will be there, and we had to go through the list and choose our top 20 or so, and prioritize them so that then the state could request those meetings. So I tried to focus on some new indoor stuff, thinking about our new community center, thank you, that will be finished next year. So some volleyball, some basketball, some additional soccer stuff, thinking about the new soccer field. So hopefully we can get some new business at those facilities, as well as just some interesting new creative type things. So we'll see if any of that pans out once I meet with them.
Don't forget pickleball.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I think that is all I highlighted from my sheet. Oh, here is an ad that was in Bike Arkansas promoting cycling. Is this your son?
Here you go.
Looks like it could be a pro kid.
Look through Jessica Simpson.
It's a photo that Terry had sent me, and he didn't. It was just like in a folder of a bunch of pictures. So it might be. Anyway, y'all have any questions?
Well done. I noticed something on TV yesterday on a podcast, and it had 20 best places to live in Arkansas. Conway is number
Wow.
Oh, good. I started to say, well, I
Yes.
hope we made the top 20.
Oh, yeah, no.
Number one, I'll
Not
take
only
number
top
one
20,
though.
we made the number one spot. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yes,
good.
yeah. I was, yeah. Okay. Parks and Rec.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
August was a little bit slow, as you can imagine, just with school getting started, but September is bound to pick back up. From here on out, we have something every weekend at one of the parks. We actually have 100 teams already signed up for a Super NIT baseball tournament the weekend of the 21st. So we're looking forward to that. As for the Expo, Bella Ristina was this past weekend, and then we have the Faulkner County Fair the 17th through the 21st. Yeah, to say the least, absolutely. Yeah, going around every day is.
Construction's so much fun.
Yeah, but I get to see the soccer park every day, so that's a plus. So, yeah. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
When are we gonna open up the soccer park? Andrew? Springtime? Thank you for holding off on that grass.
Mhm.
Better root.
Yeah, it was a wise decision. It'll be well worth it.
Mhm.
It will be. It absolutely will. Thank you.
When's I gonna do it? He said, what day was it?
Springtime. Spring of 25.
Spring.
Okay, all right. Okay, new permit request. Okay. Looks like we're on to new business. Funding request from Conway Regional Health Foundation.
Thank you very much for having us here. I'm Marla Hambick, and I'm Director of Development at the Conway Regional Health Foundation. I've been here a few times before, so I know several of you. Been involved with events at the foundation for a good long while. So Mary Lemmings is joining us. Also, she is the new special event manager. She came to us by way of Lyon College in January. So as a person with other job responsibilities, I'm very fond of Mary because she's really awesome at the events. But anyway, thank you very much for your time. I know we're sort of here to talk to you about helping fund marketing for the Duck Derby, which is a little out of the cycle. And it's a kind of uniquely timed event. We have to hold the event in the middle of January because we have to cooperate with duck season. We don't want to get in trouble with the state or anything like that by hosting a duck hunt outside of the season. So therefore, we're here to seek funding for the 2025 event. I will say that we would like the opportunity to also, in the normal cycle, which is in October, seek funding for 2026 so that we don't come back to you again next year in this way. If you would consider us, give us the opportunity to do that.
Megan Dyson and I, their executive director,
She's our chief development
chief
officer.
development
Yeah.
officer, and I have had multiple conversations about this and trying to figure out how to best handle the timing of their applications, because they ideally would be able to advertise the event starting in October,
Right.
before their January event.
Mhm.
But the way our funding cycle runs, that really doesn't work for them. So this was what we decided would be best for this year. But I did want you all to have the opportunity to weigh in on that. And anyway, that's my 2
Something
cents.
to consider. We obviously we are very open to what works best for the commission, but we know that the funding that you have provided over the past 2 years has really helped us significantly grow engagement from outside of the area. And we've also, one of the things that we've always tried to do with the events, any funding that has come through the A&P Commission is leverage that into sponsorships so that not only are you helping fund the event, but then media is also in turn jumping on the bandwagon basically to help us with some added value and that kind of thing. So we did come and speak to you in February, so I don't want to give the full report on results and that kind of thing, but just a little reminder that we honored recognition for the CVB and everything that we did. I don't know that there was any print, radio. We didn't do any outdoor website, social media, television that the Commission Visitors Bureau is not included in. So I did want to point that out to you. And we've got a long list of everywhere that we were able to touch and receive some promotion from. So We did do a survey as well. We did have people who were stayed in hotels, a few that were in Airbnbs. But one of the things I do want to highlight and remind you of, as the event has grown, we really do have a goal to extend our reach into the state as well as nationally. And I think we've proven that we can do that. We have some national sponsorships. Tangle Free is a new one this year. Big Frig is another one. Sitka. I mean, if you're a hunter, all the brands you know and love have somehow or another been part of the Duck Derby. So that's great. We also had hunters. Last year we had 144 hunters and representing 10 different states. So not just Arkansas. We had some guys from Oregon. We had Texas, Florida, Louisiana, yeah, all those other places too. So 10 states, we had 144 hunters. We also extended the reach a little bit further and brought some of our landowners in who all come back to Conway for the community-wide banquet. We had 29 cities throughout the region represented in those landowner locations. So the goal to bring people from outside of the area into the area, I think we're working hard to accomplish that and have had some really good results. A lot of that is thanks to the opportunity we have to advertise and the money that you guys have invested there. The event in January will be held at the UCA Hyper Center. It will be on January the 10th. We're fortunate this year that it's not that first weekend in January. I think that works well for UCA, and it certainly works well for us too, and hopefully the hunting community who participates. The application you will see, we've laid out our marketing plan. We do intend to continue to increase social media presence. We saw some great results from that last year, and so you will see an increase in our budget there from what we have done in the past. We fully intend to also we got good traction on the buzz last year, and so we'd like to, we've got some interest from some of those guys, and hopefully they'll partner with us and we'll be able to leverage that opportunity as well. We will continue, one of the things we'll continue to do is expand that reach. You know, we have a really great example of an event from Northeast Arkansas that I think you guys have probably heard of. And we're growing, but we haven't reached the level of success that they have, and we'd really like to beat that. Bottom line, we want to win. We're going to win, right? Go Conway. Anyway, and so I don't know if you have questions about the application, if you want me to walk through it. I certainly don't want to take any more time than you want to allow for it, but
So
hopefully.
I will say that I've been, since you guys have started this, a participant in a landowner since day one. And I've been in many hunting tournaments throughout the state, and this one is probably by far the best ran. Like when it comes to ease of use, people know where they're supposed to be, all the events are set up correctly. So, I mean, I don't know anybody that is in my group of hunters that has had any issues whatsoever. They all just line up to come back. So
Good.
kudos to you guys for putting on a really good event.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wes.
Sounds like good
Appreciate it.
news.
Hopefully I
Sounds
follow
like-
in your
Sounds
footsteps
like
here.
good news. Yeah.
Mary is highly capable, no question. No question at all.
So I was just thinking about what you had talked about coming before us and the funding year. Rachel, do we have very many events that happen in January when we allocate our budget?
Not many, and the ones that do, they aren't advertising early like this.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
They're more sports related, so they're using funding for other things instead of advertising.
So when they do their advertising, since like right now that they're coming before us in 24 to start the advertising, I guess my question would be, with us approving the budget that will be coming before us, it'll be for 2025. Would they expend any of that money for advertising prior to You see what I'm saying? So that it would follow our budget regulations.
So, I mean, theoretically, if they wanted to spend all of their money in the couple of months leading up to their event, then it could come out of the year prior budget. And I think that that would be totally allowable.
Okay. I just
Um,
didn't want us to get into a situation to where we're funding outside of what we had approved for that particular
Sure.
year. Yeah.
I think that, and typically, so somebody has a December event, we're
Mhm.
not going to get their invoices
Right.
until January.
Exactly.
In most cases. And
Yes.
So I would say it's on Lisa and her team
Mhm.
to, deal with how they apply those on the back end. But yeah, I
That's
mean, that might
traditionally,
make.
we've sought reimbursement after.
After, and that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Typically, we don't fund it
We-
until
correct.
after
We
the
will not write a
event
check until
anyway.
after the
So,
event.
yeah. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the commission, but to me, that almost makes sense with that amount and with the timing of what theirs is, that we allow them to go ahead and get into our cycle of October for the upcoming year.
Mhm.
Just to kind of expedite things and knowing that that's coming, that they don't have to come 2 months.
Mid-year
but-
every
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Is
Mhm.
this, I'm sorry, is this request for?
This is for
2025?
2025.
Okay.
But
So
what
then
we
can
were
do this
saying
separately.
is normally what people would do is they would be submitting their requests for 2025 in the October that we'll be doing, and it'll be for the year 2025. But what I was saying is allowing them, because their event, they would have to come back in 2025 for 2026. But since the funds won't actually be expended, we could go ahead and put them in the cycle of what we're approving for 2025, so they don't have to come back like they're doing now.
So is this time for a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor?
They're requesting.
They
that, right?
requested.
Yes.
I didn't know.
No, I think what we were doing is talking about them for the next funding
next year,
period.
yes, yeah.
Yes,
It
we
wasn't-
haven't talked about this
This one.
particular one. We're just saying, giving them the ability to go ahead and submit it in October for the next year is what I was referring to, not this one in particular. Right, yes. Yes, so what we would approve would be 2026 in our regular cycle, but it wouldn't be expended until, yes,
Right. So basically, in
Mhm.
the next 2 months, you'll see two applications.
right.
This one that's before you today, and then
Mhm.
one that will come through the regular October cycle.
Yes, yes.
So do we need a motion for what's going to happen today?
We can after this one, I think.
Okay.
He seconded it,
Seconded,
so
second.
I just wanted to make sure we were voting on the right thing.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say nay. No nays? Looks like it passes.
Thank you. We will,
And I will, yes, I'll make a motion for the 15,000 for January of 2025.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say nay. Looks like the ayes have it. Thank you.
job.
Well
thank
done.
you. We,
Well done seems to be profitable for our city and for a lot of folks from out of town. It just sounds
Mhm.
like a win-win for Conway.
thank you. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate the support. We'll make good use of it, I promise.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Okay, do we have any old business? Andy, you and I would only be one on that list, so.
We would be the old business, that's correct.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. We adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Looks like we've adjourned. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for your support. Thank you. Thank you for keeping it somewhat sane for me. Appreciate you.
I don't think I paid as much attention to you as I did last time,
Well,
so.
hopefully I'm getting a little smarter. I'm
Might
not
be
getting
throwing rocks at me.